Usually I do a very cheerful Friday video. This is not that kind of message. Me and my sister, Davina, who you see her name above, you see her profile in the comment section, please follow her. Our origin, our roots begin in India. This is where our story begins. Our heart is bleeding right now. What's going on for India, but not just for India, for everybody who has been affected. And yes, before people ask in the comment section, I'm sick and it is what it is. Before people ask, we wanted to tell you because we've seen a lot of posts supporting India, which we appreciate, but there's a lot of negative things being said about India, and this is our homeland. And I say that, and I can feel it through the bottom of my toes, all the way up through my heart. So we are going to share the love that is India. Good morning, Davina. How are you?
Good morning, Rachel. Thank you so much. First of all, I just want to let everybody know that Rachel is not feeling 100%, and we spoke about postponing our show today, but then Rachel said it's important that we come together and support India and support everybody who's in India, but also the social media feed that we're watching. There's a lot of biases going on, there's a lot of misinformation going on, and that's why Rachel has come forward and given me the platform on given open up her platform for me as well. So Rachel, thank you so much for that. So please, go ahead, Rachel, start the show and let's educate ourselves as well as our audience to tell them what exactly is going on and what is the most helpful thing that we can do right now.
Here's what I want us to share the beauty that is India. I want you to share your experiences. I'll share mine because there's a lot of negative as people are supporting India. There's a lot of negative stuff showing up in the comment section, which I know you and I don't appreciate because this is our homeland. I'm an Indian American, she's Indian Canadian. We belong to both countries. Can you share some of your favorite memories of India and why it's so special to you?
So Rachel, I am born and raised in India and I moved to Canada for university. And when I look back at India right now, some 20 years later, you know what I think about? The first thing that comes to my mind is the spirituality. It's like an orgasm when you think about it spiritually, right? I mean, and the spiritual energy is also related to the sexual energy. So we're not here to shame anybody for anything. This is just an observation. So, it's so spiritual that you kind of like you go there and your vibration goes up because you're surrounded by so much old history, um, culture, differences, yet everybody's the same, and so much love and beauty. And of course, nature as well.
Yeah, one of the things that I love so much about India is their values. Okay. So, my biggest healing moments, and I've been to India twice and I'm going to be going back, have happened inside India for me. It's the value of family. That is so important. I have been blessed and lucky to be invited into people's homes in India, share a meal with them and spend time with them. Family is huge where it's our generation. I'm 45, taking in parents, which I will do for my parents later in life. It is about that. It is about friendships. These are core values, and it's been painful for me, I'll be honest with you, to watch the things that are being written about Indian people are some of the hardest working people you will ever meet in your life. And I can tell you this because I've seen it, I've witnessed it. What would you say are some of the core values that you see?
Rachel, I'm so glad you're bringing up this point about family values. And family is not just your blood family. Family is also your neighbors, the people around you. And one of the stories that's coming out for us right now, my parents live in India, and they live in a building. So I was speaking to my mom. She's like, I'm preparing food so that I can go drop food outside the neighbors who are struggling with COVID. So I said, Mom, what about putting your life in danger? She's like, no. yeah, but we'll be careful. Everything is like in disposable utensils. I'm gonna be wearing gloves and everything. I'm gonna be protected. So I'm listening to my mother and I'm like, I mean, are you not worried about, catching something? She's like, no, we have to do what we have to do to support our friends and family and our neighbors. And I was like, wow, that makes sense. So, when you have that as an example, guess what happens? It's the government's not coming to support you. The establishment doesn't care about people. We know that. However, it is human beings who are showing up for human beings. And there is the beauty in that, the beauty in community, the beauty in helping each other just be there, whether it's morally, whether it's, physically, whether it's with food, with volunteer work, with water, whatever you can. This is what this is what it comes down to ultimately.
Can you tell people, Davina, I was born in Tamil Nadu in southern India. What part of India were you born in?
So I have my parents are born in Pakistan. They moved to India when they became refugees during the genocide of 1947. And then I am born in Assam, so which is close to Bangladesh. So, I define myself as a human being. Religiously, I belong to the Sikh religion. Culturally, I grew up in many, many parts of India. So, I wouldn't say that there's one particular part, but I will say that, for example, let me give you an example. Being born in Assam, I'm used to eating the food that Bengalis eat, right? Like the food that Bangladesh people eat. And then as a family, my parents are from Pakistan, so we eat the food that Pakistani people eat. And of course, it's very different from coast to coast. It's a big country. It's very different from north to south, but food unites us. So,
Yes,
and as you know, Rachel, our homes are always open for food, for people to welcome them.
yes.
It's kind of what we do. We just give what we can. And you know what else, Rachel? You'll notice something else. The people who have very little are the most generous people.
Yes.
Is that
And
true in your observation?
it's absolutely true. And it's like, and it's when someone invites me in, I'm always like, is it okay to like eat here and take food? Because I feel, and they're like, no, 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 Rachel, this is ours, and I'll sit on the ground with them, and sit and share a meal with them. I love the energy of India. India, this I will say, is not a quiet country, and
No.
not a quiet country. But I do, for 3 weeks, when I used to do about 3 weeks, and I stayed at the orphanage, and I love that energy. When every time when the plane lands and the doors open and my feet are on the ground, my soul's home, my heart is home,
Mm,
everything about it. I just, so for the time that, and then it takes me time to process, after I'm there, but it runs through my blood. So it's been very hard to say this, because we love the support that everybody's doing for India. There are people, they're dropping posts that's just in support, and they're showing. What is difficult, it's not the people who are sharing the post, we love India, we love that. It's the commentary about it. This is not a cultural thing. COVID is not we've been dealing with this for over a year now. This is a human being issue. So please, as you see people pouring love out for India, remember this is a human being issue. So okay, so share your funnest story in India, and I'll share two mine. What's one of your funnest stories?
there's so many stories. First of all, like I just want to mention something, Rachel, and you're talking about something very important. The India is very populated, so